Hello, everyone. Bethelite here, and I wanted to talk about a subject that I think is important. Uh, I watched a video. You guys know who Mike and Kim is. I watched a video where Mike was talking about community. He was making reference to the exJW community, and I could tell that it looked like there was maybe some disappointment there. Maybe some issues, maybe some things that have happened. Uh, and I wanted to talk about it because I've been a member of the exJW community for years. And one of the reoccurring topics that come up over and over again is the topic of problems in the exJW community. And I wanted to share my perspective because, our experiences sometimes can help others. We may not even know that we have experiences that could be beneficial to other people until we share them. So I wanted to share my view of this because I 100% know what it's like to be disappointed twice. Now, I'm not just talking about Mike. I'm again talking about this is a topic that has reoccurred over and over again. Different people have all said that there was some kind of an issue or problem within the community, and some people felt they no longer wanted to be a part of that community. So I'm talking in general. My perspective is one that I think can help people because I come from a background of someone who was disappointed multiple times. I know what it's like to be a part of something, see things going on that shouldn't, leave, join something else, and be disappointed again when I thought what I was joining was going to be better. Because that's my Bethel experience. My experience growing up as a Jehovah's Witness is one where I noticed elders flirting with other women. I've noticed people not getting along in the congregation and taking sides. This group is sitting over here at the Kingdom Hall, whereas the other group is sitting over there at the Kingdom Hall. They don't intermix. They don't like each other. Why? Because this person got into it with this person, and now all these people got to take sides. I've seen elders where their wife doesn't attend meetings. They're an elder, but their wife stays home when it comes time to go to the Kingdom Hall and what have you. Well, that elder, since he's away from his wife when he's at the Kingdom Hall, since he's away from his wife when he is going door to door, I'm talking back in the day, he is constantly flirting with women and doing things you know you would not do if your wife was there. And I mean, he's coming up behind women and touching them and different things like that. And I'm thinking, this has got to make women in the congregation uncomfortable. Like, this is not right. The things that I'm saying isn't right. And guess what? I had been to multiple congregations. I didn't just go to one congregation before I went to Bethel. I had been to at least three. I'd been to at least three congregations and noticed the same things going on. Inappropriate activities, inappropriate behaviors from people that you would expect better from because they're ministerial servants, they're elders, they're pioneers. They're so on and so forth, and yet and still they're doing things that they ought not be, and they're being hypocrites. And I saw it enough to where I moved from one congregation to another congregation to another congregation, and I see all this infighting. I see people who would literally, I'm talking stuff as bad as they would only call watchtower conductors that would only call on their buddies when it came time for the watchtower study. Like, if you aren't his buddy, you're not going to get a comment in. Or if the conductor is white and you're black, you ain't getting very many comments in. Because he ain't calling on nobody but his family and his family's friends who are all white. Like, stuff that is just ridiculous that you would say there's no way Jehovah's Witnesses should be behaving this way. But it is a fact that they were. I saw it at multiple congregations, and guess what? It was disappointing. It was heartbreaking. What did I decide to do? I decided I'm going to Bethel. Bethel is where people who are serious about trying to serve God go. Because obviously all these people here at the Kingdom, not everybody, but so many people at the Kingdom Halls, so many Jehovah's Witnesses are hypocrites. So many Jehovah's Witnesses. I personally went through a situation where my family went through a divorce. You know what I mean? I'm talking there. All these things that aren't supposed to happen with Jehovah's Witnesses were happening. And then we go to the Kingdom Hall and open up a magazine that talks about Jehovah's Witnesses as if things don't happen that are happening right there in that congregation. Well, I decided I'm not going to be a part of that. I want to go to Bethel. I want to leave the community I was a part of and join a different community, a community full of people who are whole-souled that want to go and serve at Bethel. Well, I get to Bethel, and guess what? Double disappointment. I left to get away from something. I go to Bethel, and it is magnified 100-fold there. I'm at Bethel, and I got sisters flirting with me at morning worship with their husbands sitting right next to them. This woman knows I'm a single brother. This woman knows I got to try to control myself. This woman knows I don't have a wife. This woman should know it's not easy to control yourself over long periods of time at Bethel and you don't have a wife. And she don't care. She's rubbing her legs all up against mine. She's flirting. Things that didn't even happen to me in the Kingdom Halls happened to me at Bethel. I had an overseer who didn't like another overseer. And guess what? That means they want to get a whole group of people. Hold on, let me roll this window up. That means they want a whole group of people to join in it with them. So now you got a whole bunch of people that don't like you got one crew at Bethel that don't like another crew at Bethel. Why? Because their overseers don't get along and you got to pick sides. Our overseer didn't like another overseer in a department really close to ours. And he decides, I'm going to bring my whole crew over. Whenever that overseer isn't there and their crew isn't there, maybe they're at, I don't know, doing another project in another part of the facility. We go over there and he sits back and just talks as bad as possible about the overseer, about the crew, about they're pointing out little things. Oh, look at that. They left to go work somewhere else and they left the trash out. Look at how lazy these people are. You see this over here? They should have had that done a week ago. All this Bethel infighting, all this Bethel politics that you had to be a part of and you couldn't get away from it. Where am I supposed to go? I got an overseer who's racist. Where am I supposed to go? You know what I mean? It's like, now I got to deal with this overseer who is racist And as bad as racism is, and as disappointing as that was, and how upsetting that was to me, I go to my overseer's overseer and talk to him about it. And guess what? Nothing was done. Nobody cared. I had to go and find somebody of the same race as me at Bethel to go talk to about it. Now, this is Bethel. These are Jehovah's Witnesses. Why should an African American have to go find another African American at Bethel to talk to about his problems? These are things that should affect everybody. Everybody at Bethel should feel strongly about discriminating people against people based off race or ethnic background, but it was not the case. There were horrible things going on at Bethel, and you could go and tell the person's overseer, and they wouldn't care. All that mattered is who you were. All that mattered is your popularity at Bethel. That's all that mattered. All that mattered is if people like you. If people like you at Bethel, you could be racist. You could be sleeping around with half the women at Bethel. You could be doing whatever in the world you want to do, as long as you're popular and as long as people like you. When I found that out about Bethel, I was so disappointed for the second time. I went to go join a community of people who were supposed to be serious and whole-souled and find out it was the polar opposite. Because guess what? Bethel and the exJW community do have one similarity. And that is, there are a lot of people at Bethel that are not there because they just chose to be a part of a group that takes serving God seriously. No, they're there because they just were born and raised JW and their parents want them to be there. There are just a lot of people at Bethel that are there. Why? Because they were born into the religion. Let's just be honest. The reason why half the people there, probably more than half of the people that are there at Bethel, they're not there because they're just real serious about serving God. They're there just because they're born in the religion and their parents want them to go there. That's a similarity with the exJW community. Everybody that's a part of the exJW community is not a part of the exJW community because they are serious about activism or they're serious about wrongdoing going on and wanting to put a voice to the voiceless. Some people are part of the exJW community because they were born and raised in the religion. They're born and raised JW, so it's just natural that if you get kicked out of the Jehovah's Witnesses, or if you decide to leave, or whatever the case may be, the next logical stop is the exJW community. So that's a similarity between Bethel and the exJW community. So many people are there, Bethel and the exJW community, just because they're born because of the religion they were born in. Not because they're necessarily good people. Not necessarily that they even care about right and wrong or morality or anything like that. They're just born and raised in the religion and they end up at Bethel. Born and raised in the religion and ended up in the exJW community. So that's why I think when I got to Bethel, I saw so much wrongdoing because there's so many people that are there just because they're Jehovah's Witnesses, and don't even believe in, some other people at Bethel don't even believe in God per se, but they were born and raised JW and their parents made them pioneer and made them fill out an application. So let's bring this home here. Let's focus on the point that I'm bringing out. The point is, I know what it's like to be disappointed multiple times because I've seen videos that people have been making lately. I've seen the posts. I've participated in the posts that a lot of people have been making lately, where people are disappointed and people are upset. And I have to give you my perspective because maybe it will help, maybe it won't. And that is that I love being part of the exJW community. I feel like it's great to be a part of the exJW community. Why, though? Why does Marcus feel that way when so many other people are saying the opposite and their experiences are valid? What they're saying is valid. Just like what I'm saying is valid, my experiences are valid. Well, the reason why, one of the reasons why I feel like the exJW community is so great is because of where I came from. I'm coming from Bethel. Bethel was so bad. Bethel was so bad that for me, the exJW community is such a step up from Bethel that it is unreal. It is no different, in my opinion, than when I got my first job outside of Bethel. When I got my first job outside of Bethel, there were people complaining about it. There are people that didn't like different things. There are people that didn't like certain people there. But my view was, I'm coming from Bethel. I was working for free. Now I'm getting a check. Now I'm making money. At Bethel, all I had to look forward to was fried chicken day. All I had to look forward to was maybe annual meeting. We'd have something good. We'd maybe have some cookies or something like that. Now, when I left Bethel, every day was fried chicken day. Every night was chocolate chip cookie night if I wanted it to be. I'm getting this check. I'm getting paid. I'm getting this money. Y'all can go ahead and complain about the person sitting next to you is loud and is disturbing you. Y'all can complain about the customers are rude to you on the phone. Because one of my first jobs I worked was at a training facility where we'd have to, we'd take calls and things like that. Y'all can complain that you wanted to work overtime this day and your boss wouldn't let you. They gave it to somebody else. Y'all can complain till the cows come home. This is the most amazing job to me because I'm coming from Bethel and I'm getting paid. I'm getting all this money. Wow. You know what I mean? On my break, I can go eat whatever I want to eat. Whereas at Bethel, your lunch break, you eat whatever you're given. And you eat however much of it that they got. That's how it was at Walk Hill. I don't know about Brooklyn, because whenever I did go and volunteer at Brooklyn, they had a ton of food there. They had a ton of food at Brooklyn when I volunteered back in the day. But at Walk Hill, it wasn't that you would run out of food all the time, but sometimes you would. So that's just what it was. You work, you get up early, you eat what we give you, and you eat how much of it we give you. And that's just the meals. Lunchtime, oh man, the job I was working at lunch, I'm eating Cuban sandwiches. If I didn't feel like a Cuban, I'd go get me a big Polish sausage with sauerkraut and all kind of stuff on top of it. I'm tearing this stuff up. Everybody's sitting around me looking at me like Man, this dude eat like he from a third world country. I darn near was. This stuff is great. This stuff is amazing. So that's kind of how I view the exJW community, is the level of freedom that we have is far more than what I had at Bethel. Because what I had at Bethel, as far as roommates not getting along with each other and where you're gonna go, it's your roommate, and your room is so small. It's not, there ain't even a place you could go and maybe even close a door, to at least have a door between you and your roommate that you ain't getting along with. The only place you could go to do that is your closet. Now, are you gonna go stand in your closet? No, you can't get away from the stuff at Bethel. There's issues on your crew, which most likely there are. You don't even have a place where you can go and have peace at Bethel. You can't even have no peace and quiet because you go to your room. I'll give you a real live example. I'm having a hard day. I'm dealing with the racist overseer. I'm homesick. I just had a dinner I didn't want to have, but I didn't have nothing else to eat. They had salad with all these big old garbanzo beans, and I did not feel like salad that day. I get all the way back to my room. My roommate is sitting in the middle of the living room with the radio turned up as loud as possible. In his little room, radio as loud as possible. Matter of fact, soon as I got to my floor, I heard the music. I just didn't know which room it was coming from. I go to my room, loud as all get out. I try to talk to him about it. This dude just sit there and ignore me. I ain't even got a room to go to at this point. So now I call somebody, as a matter of fact. I call one of my relatives because people think, oh, Bethel is so great. Bethel is so great. Matter of fact, I think I called my mother and she could hear how, she's like, what is all that noise? My roommate got the radio turned up as loud as possible and I ain't got nowhere to go. So I get some stuff, I just leave, I go to the freaking library to just sit in the library. I got to sit in the library at Bethel because I can't even go to my room because my roommate is just being ridiculous. You understand? This is where I'm coming from. So when I come to the exJW community and I see somebody wilding out on Facebook, which just happened, I've had people attack me on Facebook or whatever, get on there, say this, say that. And all I got to do is hit the block button. Woo! This is great. At Bethel, I'm stuck with the guy. I'm stuck. I ain't got no place to go. I'm stuck with the guy. I ain't even got no money to go do nothing. exJW community, if I don't get along with somebody, oh man, that block button, I can push it all day. If I don't like somebody's video, oh man, I got 30 other people's videos to go watch. Like, for every one person that I don't get along with, it's like 6 or 7 people that I do. So I pick up the phone right now, and I got a ton of exJWs I can call that I'm friends with, and we could kick it, we could talk. They invite me over. There's people that invite me to come travel, to come check out different places, different locations and different things like that. I can go if I want to. If I don't want to go, I ain't got to go. But for me, my perspective of the exJW community is just different because of where I came from. I already know what it's like to be disappointed multiple times by multiple communities, the Jehovah's Witness community and then the Bethel community, the supposedly special full-time service community. I've been a part of that one, and that was disappointing. And then I come to the exJW community, and yeah, you got some of the same stuff going on. You got people like affairs, and you got all kinds of different things, scandals and different things going on, or you got people that want money for this and want money for that. And I'm like, man, this is great to me because I ain't got to give them a dime if I don't feel like it. You got people who are part of the exJW community. If they feel like joining another cult, I mean, there's people that join the Mormons and join other cults because it's just similar to what they're used to. Go ahead, you know what I mean? I'll warn you against it. But go on ahead, do what you do. That's on you. I got 100 other friends to go and, talk to, hang out with, go travel, go visit people, go to the beach. Bethel, if I wanted to just have some time to myself, I had to take vacation. I had to put in for vacation. Only had so much vacation. exJW community, man, if I feel like taking a vacation, I can make a video and be like, okay, I'm not going to be making videos for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to Cancun. And I could do it anytime, and there ain't no limit to it. I got infinite vacation days in the exJW community. You know what I mean? Like, it's so infinitely better to me. That's just me and my perspective. I'm not saying I'm right and anybody else is wrong. I'm just saying that I'm coming from Bethel. So for me, whenever I hear people complaining about the exJW community, I'm just thinking, man, it's so much better than Bethel. It's so much better than Bethel, where you ain't got no freedom to get away from this stuff. Here in the exJW community, man, I ain't gotta talk to nobody I don't feel like talking to. If I have a problem on one group and I get into an argument, either I could block the group or they could block me. Either way, but there's 50 other groups I can join that are exJW groups and get along with all of them. You know what I mean? It's like the total, complete, and utter freedom. And yes, you have, a community with people who are all different moral standings, because you got people that are in the exJW community that weren't even Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, they wasn't even baptized. And there ain't even a standard to where you got to fulfill the standard to be a part of the exJW community or be an activist or what have you. So, of course, everybody's not going to be serious about helping sex abuse victims, serious about, like, you got a lot of people in that community that they are serious about helping people. I'm talking serious about that stuff. Like, they don't mess around with, they don't mess around. They are serious. And then you got other people that are in the community and they just there because they was born and raised in the cult. Only reason why they was just born and raised in the cult. You got people that are there that they don't care about the money. They just want to help people. And you got people that, they want to make money. You got people who, they like the attention. They want a lot of followers. I mean, that's the world we live in. But at the same time, it's still, for me, in my perspective, so much better because I could choose to be a part of it, or I could choose not to be a part of it. And one thing about the exJW community, you get warned about stuff. Whereas at Bethel, I did not. At Bethel, there wasn't nobody pulling me to the side and say, hey, look out for this person, look out for that. This happens, you need to be careful with it. I didn't get none of that. But in the exJW community, oh my God, if anything goes on, you're going to have 100 people warning you about it. And then from there, you can make up your mind as to whether or not you're going to want to be a part of it anyway. And that's up to you. But still, that's still something that's better about the exJW community than any other community where, well, I won't say any other community, but better than it was at Bethel for me. Far better than it was at Bethel for me. So you guys comment down below. Talk about problems that you've had in the exJW community. We'll talk We'll talk about it. 937-789-4029. I'll try to answer the phone today. We'll talk about it. Comment down below. What problems have you had? We'll talk about it. exWallKillBethelite signing out.